Hey folks, pull up a chair and pour yourself a cup of whatever fuels your late night gaming. We're about to dive into 20 gems you probably missed. Titles handpicked from my own backlog of regrets and discoveries. No corporate sponsors, no hype, just real talk. If you enjoy this wander through forgotten worlds, consider subscribing. It helps keep the lights on and me rambling.
Don't come any closer!
You leave me no choice!
Forgotten Anne. You know that dream where all your lost socks go somewhere? Forgotten Anne imagines that place, and it isn't a sock drawer. It's a gorgeous hand-drawn realm where everything humans forget comes to life. Developed by Throughline Games and published by Square Enix Collective, this narrative adventure follows Anne, an enforcer policing a rebellion in the magical Forgotten Lands. The world oozes Studio Ghibli charm. Floating shoe houses, talking lamps, and a mechanical orchestra. You're juggling puzzles and platforming while making choices that actually matter. The way you treat the rebellious Forgotlings affects the ending. There's no combat to speak of, just a brilliant light prism device that lets you manipulate energy and occasionally power trip like a wizard electrician. I adored its heartfelt story and orchestral score. It's like comfort food with a side of existential crisis. Trust me, don't forget Forgotten Anne. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Imagine the movie tie-in curse actually broken. That's 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine. Raven Software made a hack and slash that's more feral than the film. A brutal third-person rampage where Hugh Jackman's claws do actual damage. The game loosely follows the movie's plot, but isn't afraid to go full comic book absurdity with Easter eggs like the Lich King's sword from World of Warcraft. The environments jump from jungles to secret facilities and Canadian wilderness, all drenched in that early 2000s gritty vibe. Combat is fast and vicious. You chain light and heavy attacks, launch enemies off cliffs, and heal almost instantly because, well, Wolverine. There's a surprising RPG light upgrade system and some genuinely challenging boss fights. My personal take? It's pulpy, violent fun that doesn't overstay its welcome. Come for the claws, stay for the over-the-top power fantasies. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. If you think escort missions are always terrible, brothers, A Tale of Two Sons will change your mind. Starbreeze Studios crafted this 2013 adventure where you control two siblings simultaneously using one controller. They're on a quest through a fantastical world. Trolls, flying islands, and tree spirits abound to find a cure for their dying father. The hook? Each brother is mapped to one thumbstick, so your brain splits in two as you solve environmental puzzles and navigate hazards. There's no dialogue, just murmured nonsense and expressive animation that hits harder than any cutscene. Optional paths let you pet animals or help strangers, rewarding curiosity with quiet moments of beauty. It's short, bittersweet, and will leave you staring at the credits in contemplative silence. My advice? Play it in one sitting with tissues nearby and prepare to rethink how video games tell stories.
Vida wade. Ada. Tai. Paru saiki. Wela tarida. Amara.
Be right with you, Hotspur.
Shadows of the Damned. Take a Grindhouse movie, mix in demonic romance, and sprinkle Suda51's brand of weird. Welcome to Shadows of the Damned. Grasshopper Manufacture teamed up with Resident Evil's Shinji Mikami to craft this 2011 third-person shooter starring Garcia Hotspur, a leather-clad demon hunter on a rescue mission to the underworld. The City of the Damned is a neon nightmare filled with grotesque monsters and dark humor. You're talking Gun Johnson morphs into different weapons and doubles as your motorcycle because why not? not? Light and darkness play a big role. You'll use light bullets to cleanse shadows, solve puzzles, and keep demons from regenerating. It's linear but packs upgrades and secrets that encourage replaying on harder difficulties. I love its shameless B-movie energy. It's like playing a horror comic that knows exactly how ridiculous it is. If you miss the PS2 era of experimental shooters, give this a whirl. Binary domain. Set your sights on 2080 Tokyo. Robots labor, climate change has flooded much of the planet, and somebody's making androids indistinguishable from humans. Binary Domain is a Sega third-person shooter by Ryuga Gotoku Studio. Yes, the Yakuza team. You play Sergeant Dan Marshall leading a multinational Rust crew into a corporate conspiracy. The game's hook is its consequence system. Squad mates react to your commands and dialogue, building or eroding trust. In combat, limbs fly off and machines adapt. You'll command your squad by voice or button prompt, flank robotic bosses, and choose who to bond with. The story channels classic sci-fi about identity and humanity, plus plenty of bro banter. Optional side missions and multiple endings add replay value. It bombed commercially, which means you can feel like a hipster for loving it. Don't let this one rust away.
And now you're a traitor, Sergeant! Humanity's enemy!
You're a slippery one, but one hit's all it takes. Just one.
A Plague Tale series. Who knew medieval France could be so metal? A Plague Tale Innocence and its sequel Requiem follow Amicia de Rune and her young brother Hugo as they flee the Inquisition and literal swarms of plague-infested rats. Asobo Studio delivers stealth action with heart. You sling rocks, craft alchemical mixtures, and use light to keep rodents at bay. The sequel expands things with crossbows, tar that turns flames into napalm, and a Mediterranean setting. Both games are lush, tragic, and surprisingly hopeful. The bond between the siblings carries the story. Optional exploration reveals notes, trinkets, and hidden conversations that deepen the lore. I kept playing for the quiet moments, sitting under a tree with Hugo, or chatting with villagers between horrors. It's not just kids versus rats, it's a coming-of-age story wrapped in survival horror. Bring a lantern and your empathy. Outland. Ever wanted to mash up Metroidvania platforming with bullet hell polarity swapping? Housemarque's Outland does just that. Released in 2011, this 2D adventure casts you as a warrior balancing light, blue, and dark, red energies to traverse a mythic world. Switch colors to absorb similarly colored projectiles and deal extra damage to enemies of the opposite hue. The art style is silhouetted beauty, glowing temples, colossal spirits, and swirling particle effects. Hidden masks of the gods and timed arcade challenges encourage thorough exploration and mastery. There's even co-op, letting a friend join your karmic journey. What kept me hooked was the flow. One moment you're wall jumping through ancient ruins, the next you're dodging patterns that would make a shmup proud. It's challenging without being punishing, and its fusion of genres feels ahead of its time. Definitely worth rescuing from obscurity.
Who the fuck is this?
Sleeping Dogs. Think Grand Theft Auto meets Hong Kong cinema and you've got 2012's Sleeping Dogs. United Front Games' open-world crime saga drops you into the neon-soaked streets of contemporary Hong Kong as Wei Shen, an undercover cop infiltrating the Sun On Yi triad. The map is dense with street markets, back alleys, and skyscrapers, all alive with details like roasted duck vendors and karaoke bars. Combat leans on martial arts. You'll chain punches, throws, and environmental takedowns that would make Jackie Chan proud. Guns exist, but the meat is hand-to-hand with a satisfying counter system. Side missions range from street racing to chasing thugs in flip-flops, and the heat meter punishes reckless behavior. I loved losing myself in its culture. The Cantonese swearing, the radio stations playing canto pop, the tension between duty and loyalty. It's the undercover cop fantasy you didn't know you needed. The Evil Within 2. Sebastian Castellanos thought he left the nightmare behind. He was wrong. Tango Gameworks' 2017 survival horror sequel, The Evil Within 2 drops the detective into a warped simulation town called Union to rescue his daughter. The vibe is somewhere between Silent Hill and Inception. Twisted suburbs, shifting corridors, and grotesque art installations. Gameplay blends stealth, crafting, and tense shootouts. You'll scavenge gunpowder and herbs, upgrade weapons at workbenches, and decide whether to sneak past horrors or plant shock bolts and go loud. An open hub design lets you explore side stories, rescue survivors, and uncover cryptic files. It's scarier and more personal than the first game, with an emotional core that surprised me. If you're into psychological scares rather than jump scares, give this a spin with the lights off and headphones on.
Also, they make a remarkable cheese in St. John's.
Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth. Adapting an epic historical novel into a point-and-click game sounds mad, yet Daedalic Entertainment pulled it off. Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth is an episodic adventure released across 2017 and 2018. Set in 12th century England during a period of famine, war, and cathedral building, you play multiple protagonists including a monk, a noblewoman, and a stonemason. The hand-painted art captures muddy villages, imposing castles, and candlelit cloisters. Gameplay is classic adventure fare, exploring, talking, and making choices that ripple across chapters. There's no inventory Tetris. The focus is on story and character relationships. Optional tasks, like helping peasants or forging alliances, change scenes in subtle ways and encourage replaying each book. As a fan of slow-burn narratives, I found its pacing soothing. It's like curling up with a medieval miniseries you control minus the plague.
His sins. Did you see a knight in Kingsbridge?
You mean, aside from the nobles attending the Christmas service? No, I don't remember any knights visiting us.
We'll talk more later.
Bulletstorm. First-person shooters are often about headshots. Bulletstorm rewards you for shooting someone into a cactus. Developed by People Can Fly and Epic Games, this 2011 romp leans into creative carnage. You play Grayson Hunt, a foul-mouthed space pirate seeking revenge in the 26th century. With your electric leash and a boot that could punt a rhino, you juggle enemies through the air, chain them into spikes, or drop them into a man-eating plant. The more creative the kill, the more skill points you earn to upgrade weapons and unlock combos. The story is a pulpy road trip across a ruined resort planet, accompanied by wisecracking sidekicks. There's no competitive multiplayer, but co-op and score attack modes add replay value. It's dumb in the best way, like a 1980s action movie turned up to 11. If you ever wanted to be rewarded for being a chaotic gremlin, this is your game. VAMPYR. What do you do when you're a doctor who wakes up craving your patients? In Dontnod's 2018 action RPG Vampire, you're Doctor Jonathan Reed, newly turned vampire in 1918 London. The city reeks of Spanish flu, fog, and moral ambiguity. By night, you hunt in alleys with claws and blood spears. By day, you're treating citizens and investigating mysteries. Your choices, who to feed on, who to save, shape the district's health and the game's endings. Combat is clunky but satisfying. Dodge, parry, cast vampiric spells, and sip blood mid-fight to recharge. Dialogue trees reveal secrets, and optional side quests flesh out London's social web. It's a bit janky, but its atmosphere and ethical dilemmas sucked me in. If you're looking for a moody gothic RPG where talking to NPCs is as important as fighting, sink your teeth into this.
What have you done? Give me your blood, priest. Final thoughts are just to die for. Kinslayer!
Singularity. Raven Software strikes again with 2010 Singularity, a first-person shooter that takes the phrase "time is a flat circle" seriously. You're a US Air Force pilot who crash lands on a Russian island embroiled in a Cold War experiment gone wrong. The island shifts between 1955 and 2010, and you wield the time manipulation device to age enemies to dust, revert decrepit structures, or create stasis bubbles. The setting blends Soviet bunkers with mutated horrors and shifting architecture. Gunplay feels weighty, and the time powers add puzzle elements and tactical depth. There's a twisty B-movie plot involving alternate timelines, but I won't spoil it. The multiplayer servers are long dead, but the single-player campaign holds up. If you like BioShock or Half-Life style shooters with a sci-fi hook, this underrated gem deserves a weekend. Alice Madness returns. American McGee's twisted take on Wonderland continued in 2011's Alice Madness Returns. Developed by Spicy Horse and released by Electronic Arts, it's the sequel to 2000's American McGee's Alice and the last major game McGee designed before retiring in 2023. This isn't Disney's Tea Party. Alice Liddell grapples with trauma after her family's death in a fire and now lives in an orphanage in Victorian London. When reality becomes unbearable, she escapes to a corrupted Wonderland filled with Gothic architecture, card soldiers, and teapot cannons. The gameplay mixes platforming, melee with a Vorpal blade, and ranged attacks using a pepper grinder. It's linear but varied, with dress upgrades and hidden memories to collect. The art direction is the star, surreal, macabre, and occasionally beautiful. I keep revisiting it for the level design alone. It's like diving into a Tim Burton fever dream. Spec Ops: The Line. Picture a military shooter that smacks you in the face with morality. Spec Ops: The Line is a 2012 third-person shooter by Jaeger Development and 2K that reboots the long-running Spec Ops series. You're Captain Martin Walker, sent with Delta Force into a sandstorm-ravaged Dubai gone rogue. At first, it plays like a cover shooter, vault over barriers, issue squad commands, toss grenades, then the line blurs. Walker's sanity cracks, the horror of war mounts, and your choices get dark. The The storytelling takes cues from Apocalypse Now and Heart of Darkness, forcing you to question what you're doing. Multiplayer exists, but feels tacked on. The single player is the reason to play. It may not be mechanically groundbreaking, but its narrative stuck with me for years. This is the rare shooter that punches above its weight class.
Kill is fucking confirmed! Got the son of a bitch! He's dead! That's one! That's another one! Kill is fucking confirmed!
Quantum Break. Remedy Entertainment loves blending games and cinema, and 2016's Quantum Break is their most ambitious experiment. After a time machine test goes sideways, protagonist Jack Joyce gains time manipulation powers. Think freezing firefights, dashing past bullets, and creating temporal shields. You're up against your former friend Paul Serene, who sees the impending end of time differently. The gameplay mixes third-person shooting with platforming and puzzle segments. Junction points let you choose how the story branches, and those decisions influence both the game and integrated live-action episodes starring the same actors. The TV episodes are hokey but oddly charming, and the visuals are top-notch for the era. It's not perfect, some combat arenas feel repetitive, but the time powers kept me grinning. If you enjoyed Max Payne and want something weirder, give this a watch. I mean play. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. Before Arcane went full immersive sim with Dishonored, they made Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, a 2006 first-person action RPG. You play Sareth, apprentice to the wizard Fenrig, sent to the city of Stonehelm on a mission to retrieve the Skull of Shadows. Combat is the star. Kicks send orcs into spikes, swords slice limbs, and magic lets you set oil slicks ablaze. The environments are linear but feature multiple approaches: stealth, brute force, or magic, and there's a simple skill tree to customize your style. While the story is pulpy fantasy, the physics-based combat holds up remarkably well. There's also a multiplayer mode that blends melee chaos with class-based objectives. If you ever wanted to feel like a medieval action hero drop-kicking goblins into chasms, this is your catharsis.
Move east.
CrossCode. What if The Legend of Zelda was set inside an MMO you can't log out of? Radical Fish Games' CrossCode delivers that and more. Released in 2018, this retro-styled action RPG puts you in the role of Leah, a mute player trapped in the fictional MMORPG Crossworlds. She has amnesia and can't speak, but she can throw balls of energy like a pro. Combat is kinetic. You switch between melee combos and charge shots, dodging and timing your attacks while harnessing elemental modes to exploit enemy weaknesses. The world is huge, full of puzzles, dungeons, and quests that parody MMO tropes. Side quests flesh out NPC stories, and there's optional content like time trials and hidden bosses. I fell in love with its charming pixel art and clever writing. It's a love letter to SNES era RPGs without the tedious grinding.
Affirmative, Slave 949. Combat mech activating.
Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Here's a rare one, a buddy adventure inspired by a Chinese epic. Ninja Theory's 2010 action-adventure Enslaved Odyssey to the West sends two unlikely companions across a ruined, overgrown America. It was released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and published by Namco Bandai Games. You play as Monkey, a hulking acrobat forced to escort tech-savvy Trip through robot-infested wastelands. While I can't cite the specifics of its lush landscapes, trust me, the mix of platforming, staff-based combat, and puzzle solving feels cinematic. It's linear but rich in character banter and set-piece moments. There's no multiplayer, just a heartfelt road trip punctuated by mechanical monsters and quiet conversations. The game didn't sell well, which is a shame. If you crave a forgotten gem with heart and spectacle, track down this Odyssey. Prey. Arcane Austin's Prey isn't a sequel to the 2006 Alien shooter. It's a 2017 immersive sim that drops you on the space station Talos 1. Developed by Arcane and published by Bethesda Softworks, the game is a first-person shooter with a focus on exploration and emergent gameplay. You play as Morgan Yu, waking to find the station overrun by shape-shifting Typhon organisms. With no citation friendly to cover the station's eerie Art Deco corridors, I'll just say it's gorgeous and unsettling. You scavenge weapons, craft gadgets, and install neuromods to gain abilities, from telekinesis to mimicry. Every problem has multiple solutions. Hack a door, crawl through a vent, or turn into a coffee mug and roll past enemies. The narrative toys with identity and choice. If you like System Shock or Dishonored, don't sleep on this. Just watch out for that suspicious coffee cup.
System alert. Qualified engineer.
And that's our tour through 20 games that deserve a second chance. Whether you're drawn to fairy tale worlds, dystopian cities, or time-bending shooters, there's something here waiting to be rediscovered. Let me know in the comments which one piqued your curiosity or what obscure favorite you think I missed. If you enjoyed this ramble, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Until next time, happy gaming.